Why is it so hard for men to talk about how they feel? Why do so many men shut down, explode in anger, or just disappear emotionally, even with the people they love the most? The truth is, men are not emotionally broken. They are emotionally conditioned. And today, we're going to talk about why men struggle with emotions, where it all started, how it shows up in adulthood, and most importantly, how men can finally begin to heal. From a very young age, boys receive a clear and consistent message. Don't cry. Man up. Be strong. Stop acting so soft. If you think about it, little boys are incredibly emotional by nature. They feel things deeply. They cry freely. They express joy, fear, sadness, and excitement without any shame at all. But as they grow up, something changes. Every single time a boy is told that his tears are a sign of weakness, or that his feelings are an inconvenience, he learns to disconnect from his emotions just to survive. Not because he wants to, but because he feels like he has to. Over time, those emotions don't just disappear. They go underground. And what gets buried alive doesn't heal it, just finds other ways to leak out. Maybe it comes out as anger, maybe as withdrawal, but it always finds a way. And here's a really important truth to understand. Men don't lack emotions. They lack emotional language. Think about it. Many men were never taught how to name what they're feeling. They were never shown how to sit with discomfort without immediately trying to fix it or run away from it. They were never given the tools to express pain without defaulting to anger. So instead of being able to say, "I feel completely overwhelmed right now," a man just says nothing egoesilen. Instead of saying, "What you said really hurt my feelings," he becomes distant and cold. Instead of admitting, "I'm actually really afraid of failing," he might become controlling or aggressive, trying to manage everything around him. This isn't a sign of emotional immaturity. It's the result of emotional neglect that's been passed down through generations. Fathers who never learned how to process their own emotions could impossibly teach their sons how to do it. When men don't have a healthy way to express their emotions, the cost is incredibly high. It shows up in so many destructive ways. It can look like depression that's masked as constant anger or irritability. It can be anxiety that's hidden behind a workaholic lifestyle. It shows up as emotional withdrawal in relationships, leaving partners feeling lonely and confused. It can lead to substance abuse, infidelity, or complete burnout. And tragically, it leads to suicide. The statistics are heartbreaking. Men are far more likely to die by suicide, not because they hurt any less than women, but because they talk about it so much less. So many men are suffering in absolute silence, completely convinced of a few core beliefs. No one wants to hear about my problems. I have to handle this all by myself. If I actually open up and show how I feel, I'll be judged. Or even worse, I'll be rejected. And so they carry that immense weight all alone, day after day, until it finally breaks them. You might think that relationships would make this easier, that love would create a safe space, but often, relationships just make it harder. Men are constantly told, "You just need to communicate more." But real communication requires emotional safety, something that many men have rarely, if ever, experienced in their entire lives. Think about what happens when a man finally takes a risk and opens up. If his vulnerability is met with mockery, if his feelings are dismissed, if he's compared to other men, or if his deepest fears are brought up and used against him in a later argument, he learns a very dangerous and painful lesson. Opening up is not safe. So he closes right back off. Not because he doesn't care, not because he doesn't love his partner, but because he's protecting himself in the only way he knows how. Silence becomes his armor. For generations, society has defined strength for men in a very specific, very narrow way. Strength meant endurance without a single complaint. It meant providing for your family at all costs, even at the cost of your own well-being. It meant being completely unbreakable, a rock. But real strength is not about emotional suppression. That's just survival. Real strength is self-awareness. It's emotional regulation. It's accountability for your actions and your feelings. It's vulnerability, but with healthy boundaries. A man who can understand and navigate his own emotions isn't weak. He is powerful in the best possible way. He's disciplined, he's grounded, and he's emotionally intelligent. That's a man who can lead himself, his family, and his community with true integrity. So, how do men begin to heal from a lifetime of this conditioning? It starts with permission, giving yourself permission to feel, permission to learn a new way, and permission to unlearn all the old, damaging rules. Here are 3 simple starting points. First, just name the emotion. The next time someone asks how you are, instead of the automatic "I'm fine," pause and ask yourself, am I sad? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I afraid? Am I disappointed? Just putting a name to the feeling is a huge first step. Second, choose your spaces safely. Not everyone has earned the right to hear your vulnerability. Start with one trusted persona best friend, a partner who has proven they are safe, or start with a journal or a therapist. The point is to practice in a space where you won't be punished for it. And third, redefine masculinity for yourself. Being a man has nothing to do with emotional silence. It's about achieving emotional mastery. Men don't struggle with their emotions because they are weak. They struggle because they were taught how to survive instead of how to feel. But survival is not the same thing as truly living. And the moment a man learns to understand his emotions, not suppress them, he doesn't lose his strength. It reclaims Italiano. He becomes more present, more connected, and more alive. If this message spoke to you, please share it with a man in your life who needs to hear it. Because real men feel, and real men heal. Thanks for watching.